Many thanks for your time here on the AM show. This is the AM News. Let's get into the details. Majority Leader Afenyo-Markin has accused Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin of supervising chaos and lawlessness in the House. And this follows another indefinite adjournment of the Speaker by the Speaker after the two NPP MPs who requested an emergency sitting failed to show up in the chamber. The opposition NDC says their colleagues on the NPP side have caused financial loss to the state. Our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, Kweku Asante, reports.
It's been another chaotic day in Parliament. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has once more indefinitely adjourned Parliament. NPP MPs who recalled Parliament to sit on urgent government business did not show up in the chamber, forcing the Speaker to say the House again lacked the quorum to take decisions and has adjourned proceedings. When the Speaker of Parliament walked in, it was only the NDC MPs who were seated on the majority side. Early on, they had come in their numbers and taken over the right-hand side of the Speaker, and they were not going to leave. The minority pews were empty. The Speaker consequently made a declaration that because the House is only constituted by a number that has not formed the correct decision making in the House, he's adjourning the House.
Unfortunately, the signatories who made the request have not shown up, and therefore matters that they wanted us to handle, which are admitted for the consideration of the business committee, are not on the order paper, and in fact there's no order paper for today because the business committee could not meet due to the absence of the people who requested for the recall. It is not advisable to be adjourning from day to day. And so I'll proceed once more to adjourn the meeting indefinitely. And the meeting, this extraordinary meeting, is accordingly adjourned.
But K.T. Hammond, the Member of Parliament for Adansi Asokwa, says the Speaker of Parliament is actually in contempt of court.
So even if he had 99, which is 1/3 of what to form the quorum, it was for the Speaker to make the announcement in the House that his ruling has been stayed, has been overset. Accordingly, minority back to where you were, majority back to where you have been. That is the simplest solution. Now, the orders of the Supreme Court were directed specifically to the Speaker. It was the Speaker. It wasn't the leadership. It wasn't the clerk. It wasn't the leadership which made that ruling, that decision. It was the Speaker of Parliament who unconstitutionally made a proclamation, whatever it is that he said the last time. The Supreme Court has told him that he was wrong. Restore matters to what they were before you did that.
Line of action for the NPP.
Well, we will cite him for contempt. We will cite the Speaker for contempt. Watch the space.
We have subsequently now heard from the leader of the NPP group in Parliament, Afenyo-Markin, who is saying they will recall Parliament, but ultimately taking on the Speaker for the way and manner he ordered affairs in Parliament today.
If he claims that what he did was a formal communication in response to a statement from the minority leader, then why is he supervising chaos in the House? What Mr. Speaker did today amount to supervising chaos and bringing the image of democracy to disrepute.
Member of Parliament for Doma East, Paul Chumberima, says he's disappointed in the 8th Parliament and how things have panned.
Ghanaians didn't vote for us to come and do this. Domai's people didn't vote for Chumberima to come, and by the time I get to chamber, they said they've adjourned. And it cannot go on like this. It is clearly totally unacceptable. And I think the 8th Parliament we must sit up and live up to expectation. It's clearly, it is quite unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate. But I think we need to live up to expectation because this is not what Ghanaians are expecting from us.
We are now waiting to see what exactly the NPP MPs will do. Are they going to trigger the Constitution and the standing orders to recall Parliament, or they are going to further engage? Mind you, we have barely 2-3 weeks to the December election, And there's a lot of outstanding business, including the vote on account that will cater for the first quarter of 2025. Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante, Parliament House, Accra.
All that went down yesterday, but moving on, in an attempt to reduce revenue losses, the Ghana Water Company, in partnership with the Danish utility Aarhus Vand, has launched a leak detection field at the Ghana Water Training Institute. And this new facility aims to train the company's staff in identifying and addressing pipeline leaks, which will reduce the company's physical losses of loss of water from 48%. My colleague, Collins Frimpong, has more in this report.
The Ghana Water Company Limited reports that approximately 48% of total water produced across all urban water systems valued at 1.8 billion Ghana cedis is lost yearly due to pipeline leakages. The leak detection field, which has been launched in partnership with the Danish Embassy in Ghana, will train the water company staff and equip them to detect and address pipeline leakages throughout its infrastructure in a timely manner. Speaking to Joy News, Managing Director of the Ghana Water Company Limited, Dr. Clifford Brimer, noted that the leak detection field would improve the company's water supply.
Because if you look at the current average tariff we have, it's about 12 cedis per cubic meter. And if you are losing 48% of 324 million cubic meters a year, so you multiply what you get by the 12 cedis, and that gives you about 1.89 billion Ghana cedis. What it means is that if we are able to detect the leakage, and then we prevent the leakage, that is, we repair where the leakage is, the volume of water that would have been going into the soil or going waste will come back into the system. And so if we were supplying probably 100 liters of water into the system, and we recover even 10%, we would have been doing about 110. So that 10 that you have recovered will give additional water to people.
The Danish ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Tom Noring, also noted the need to provide safe drinking water for consumers as the reason behind the partnership.
You have something that I had never seen before I came to Ghana, sachet water, which I think is, if it's not 10, it's probably more times as expensive. That's the kind of solutions you're left with. Or as you mentioned, yes, water brought out, but not necessarily clean. That's not a good solution. You don't know what happened in that transportation on the way to the customers, to the users. So very, very important to have clean and affordable drinking water.
The leakage detection field will train the company's engineers and technicians at all levels to spot leakages and improve volumes of water supply. Joy News' Collins Frimpong's report read to you.
Let's get into our election headquarters. And Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has officially launched Ghana's credit score system aimed at transforming the country's financial economy by providing lenders with adequate and reliable data on borrowers. Now, the Vice President in his address said the new system will reduce the rate of non-performing loans and improve equal access to the financial market. Dr. Bawumia expressed optimism that the new credit score will benefit small and medium businesses. And there's more in this report.
The credit assessment framework aims to enhance our financial institutions, evaluate credit worthiness, expanding access to loans and financial services essential for both personal and business growth in Ghana. At the launch, Dr. Bawumia expressed optimism, noting that this framework would improve access to Ghana's financial market and contribute significantly to the economy growth.
Results from the My Credit Score pilot demonstrate a stark improvement, achieving an NPL ratio of less than 4%, a remarkable contrast to the national average. By enabling a fairer and more consistent evaluation of credit worthiness, My Credit Score is expected to reduce defaults significantly, strengthen confidence among financial institutions, and expand access to credit for individuals and businesses alike. The initiative reflects a broader commitment to sustainable economic growth, where financial stability and trust in credit practices play foundational roles.
CEO of Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications endorsed the system.
What this would do is that it would open up the whole informal sector as well. People who in the past were not able to get access to credit would be able to get access to credit.
John Ewa, CEO of the Ghana Association of Bankers, highlighted that the new system will boost banks' confidence in lending.
We get asked as banks that, oh, why am I having this high interest rate? Why is my credit delaying? Why is the default rate so high? It is because banks do not have any means of having a full view of your credit exposure within the financial architecture or financial system. What this credit score does is moving one big step forward, away from just reporting of credit or reporting of your credit status to giving us a number that enables us or tells us where you stand in terms of your reliability metric.
Augustine Ajay, board chairman of My Credit Score, reported positive outcome from the pilot test of the framework.
A credit bureau is that institution that is licensed to give lenders that confidence. So the number you can, another way to look at that number is how confident a lender will be able to trust that when I give you these goods and services, you are going to pay back on time and also in full, so that others benefit, because it's a social thing, right? When you're able to expand and grow and then fulfill your financial obligations where you have gone in for a loan or other financial instrument, you're able to pay back.
The launch event brought together government officials, international partners, and financial sector stakeholders to support this initiative for Ghana's economic advancement.
The flag bearer of the Movement for Change, Alan Kojo-Kyerematen, has pledged to turn the 5 regions of the North into the food baskets of the West African sub-region. He said these regions are predominantly agriculture-based, adding that what needs to be done is to value the crops cultivated to make it easy to export. The flag bearer said this when he paid a courtesy call on the Kugbegu Na as part of his campaign of the Northern region.
The flag bearer of the Movement for Change, John Alan Kojo-Kyerematen, is on a 4-day tour of the Northern region to canvass votes ahead of the December polls. Mr. Kyerematen and his team paid courtesy calls on the Bukwena, the Dakwema, the Bugulana, the Sanarina, among other chiefs in the Tamale metropolis. Speaking at the Bukwena's palace, Mr. Kyerematen said the Tamale airport will be made economically viable for the export of crops grown in the area.
My vision is to make the 5 northern regions the food basket of the whole of West Africa. Most of you gathered here are farmers. And it is very important that we take agriculture seriously. What I propose to do is that all the crops that you are cultivating, we are going to build factories that will help you process all that you cultivate.
He also promised to provide jobs for the teeming unemployed youth in the country.
Find jobs for the young people of the Northern region. And if you help me to become president, I'll make sure that there is no child or young person in Ghana who will leave school and not be able to enter into a job.
Mr. Kyerematen said he stands for unity and will unite the country, which is currently polarized.
We cannot survive as a nation when everything becomes politics. And the role I want to play is to bring the country together, is to build a united Ghana.
During a tour of Hohoi in the Volta Region, Nana Kwame Bediako and the new force met with executives from the University of Health and Allied Sciences to address key national issues. Nana Kwame Bediako highlighted the Volta region's potential as an industrial hub capable of connecting Ghana through the Volta River and establishing distribution channels for locally processed goods. He voiced concern over, quote, brain drain, where educated Ghanaians leave for overseas jobs while the nation imports finished products made from its own raw materials, and urging an end to this cycle for sustainable growth. He also encouraged the people of Volta Region to prioritize national progress over party loyalty, advocating for votes that drive meaningful change. Here's more.
Let's face the reality. Ghana needs that change. And the reason why Volta is a deep part of my heart is because in my vision, Volta can connect the north and the south. And it can lead water transportation to Bono and even Ashanti. We can connect to River Pra and all the things. You've already seen it. Ada is going into the sea. That water is there already, and people are building around it, and it's become a leisure space. That same water can become an industrial space. That same water can be transporting containers of processed cocoa, processed plantain, processed yam, processed of many things. It can come and connect to this water in Dambai that is probably here. We have the waters to connect ourselves and to start industrializing ourselves. What are these leaders doing? And they keep educating the people, educating. Yes, I like education, but please, education without the plan is going to come up to nothing with the degrees after. I've seen it myself. I go to nursing schools. There's so many girls there. They educate them for 20 years only for some smart person in England to come and pick all of them. So we, the investors that we invest in our children to become doctors and to become nurses and to become IT solutionists, whatever. Somebody is there waiting for us to put our investment in, comes and grab the people. They're importing talents from our country, and we are importing products from their country. And the product has come from the raw materials that we produce. Hey, come on, think about this one. This is craziness. 2024, we have to change what we're, politics should be changed. I will repeat myself again. They're importing talent from us. Our own talent goes out there. And then they extract raw materials from us, use our own talent to refine it, to process it. Then you go and import the finished product into your country and pay taxes and sell it times 10 to your people.
Let's get into other stories away from the election headquarters. Bono East Regional Director of Health Services, Dr. Paulina Clara Pia, has bemoaned the increasing number of breast cancer cases in the region, attributing it to the lack of adequate treatment centers across the area. She charged women to take advantage of breast cancer screening exercises to help in the early detection of the disease. Dr. Paulina made this call at a brief event in Techiman to outdoor the oncology units of the Holy Family Hospital. Anasabit has more.
Breast cancer is steadily increasing in Ghana, with majority of Ghanaians only seeking care in advanced stages of the disease, a situation that is increasing mortalities across the country. The reasons for poor survival rates are multifactorial, with the lack of oncology centers another issue the country has to address. The Bono East region until recently has been without an oncology unit. This according to Dr. Kingsley Bosompim, a surgical specialist and the lead in breast care at the Holy Family Hospital, is handling the fight against breast cancer.
Apart from skin cancers, breast cancer. So my name is Dr. Kingsley Bosompim. I'm a senior specialist. Unfortunately for us, about 50 to 70% of our cases present very late. very late as compared to the Western and then the developed world, because they have very effective screening systems for the early detection. When breast cancer is detected very early, it is curable. In the whole region, Bono region, Ahafo, and the Bono East, we cannot boast of even one single mammogram.
This new oncology unit, according to the Regional Director of Health Services, Dr. Paulina Clara Piao, will help in the early detection of breast cancers, which is key to the fight against the disease.
This oncology unit is so important. Thank you very much. So, this oncology unit is so important for us as a region, because if we look at our data, last year we were able to detect 48 new breast cancer cases, and in this year so far we've detected 42.
Dr. Paulina Clara Pia bemoaned certain myths and misconceptions that is preventing women from voluntary screening and charged women to participate in breast cancer screening exercises.
The myths are that there's some fear among women. So any breast problem, they are afraid that it may be cancer. And because of that, they just don't want to know. And so we want to encourage the women that at any point in time, please, whenever we are making advocacy about breast cancer, please involve yourself. Don't be afraid to avail yourself to be screened for breast cancer.
Dr. Susanna Hegobit-Becker is an oncologist and a professor of medicine from Hamburg, Germany. Her visit to the Holy Family Hospital a year ago sparked the conversation about the need to establish an oncology unit here. A year later, that dream is today a reality.
They asked me a year ago to come with them, which I did. And then I met Dr. Kingsley, the general surgeon, who has an emphasis for breast cancer. But there was nothing here when I came the first time. So I thought he was so enthusiastic and the whole crew was so enthusiastic that I thought it's worthwhile to try to build something up.
Professor Susanna expressed her excitement that the success is made and called for an increased awareness about the need to visit the hospital and stay away from resorting to self-medications.
I'm very excited to see what has happened during the last year. I think this is amazing, actually. So of course, what we should do is to increase awareness so that the women are not longer afraid to come. Just discuss the problem and sorry for saying it, but don't use too many healers because there are no specialists in that.
Dr. Kingsley Bosompim was, however, quick to appeal to authorities to help in the acquisition of a mammogram to help in the early detection of breast cancers.
In order to change the trend, so my name is Dr. Kingsley Bosompim. I'm a senior specialist and a general.
For first business story, some banks have described as prudent moves by the Bank of Ghana to improve dollar supply through multiple auctions. The central bank announced that it would now be selling US dollars spot at its daily Forex auctions. Now, this means bidders now have two tenor options, that the existing 7-day tenor and the additional spot tenor. And speaking to Joy Business on the development, financial economist Professor Lord Mensah expressed skepticism about the sustainability of this move.
Well, it depends on our dollar buffers, and then also how, the market distortions orient itself to make sure that there will be no much difference when it comes to the 7-day and then the spot. The only thing that brings about the 7-day forward and then the 15-day and then the other days forward is about uncertainty. Now, once the market, the uncertainty on the market tones down, assurance, falls through, you'll come to appreciate that there will be no much differentials between the spot and then the forward. And so the market will be at equilibrium at a point. But for now, once there's uncertainty, for sure, the bidder will always require that immediately, there's a request for the dollar, it has to be made available.
The Deputy Agric Minister, Yao Frimpong-Ado, has encouraged farmers and players in the agric sector to use agribusiness as the platform to promote shared prosperity and wealth creation. He said government is taking a holistic approach to addressing the infrastructural needs of farming communities and via inclusion. He spoke to Joy Business at the Ghana Exim Bank Tuesday market.
A lot more people are going to be employed, and then once produced the way they've done the packaging, it's so appealing both locally and internationally. And my interaction with a few of them, I've had the indication that they have been supplying these products to outside of this country, which is very good for us. And it's something that we at the ministry we are going to make sure that we encourage it at the highest level, because this is all we need. We produce, when we have bumper, everything goes bad. When there are small technologies that can process this one so that the shelf life will increase to, let's say, 6 months, so that we will never get any scarcity of any of these produce. So in sum, I say I've been so excited being here this morning to see what is on display here.
And that's the end of the AM News Bulletin on the AM show. Stay with us because News Review is coming up shortly. We'll be right back.